It's an old-fashioned neighborhood, a place where everyday Americans raise their families. The modest house is home for all the usual trappings of a childhood guaranteed to fill a treasure chest of memories. For 8-year-old Laurel, the nearest tree is a chance to demonstrate the finer points of climbing for her younger sister, Crystal. But Laurel's childhood will also store a memory of pain.
It involves a lot of needles in your veins. And when they tried to get the IV in me for the hospital, it took them 5 times, and they popped five of my veins in my wrist, and they had to go to the next one. They popped 3 in this one. Took a long time to heal, too.
Within the last year, Laurel was diagnosed as having leukemia, a disease that at worst steals our young, and at best creates a nightmare of fear and uncertainty, a nightmare that is shared by her parents, Dave and Karen.
You just feel like your heart is going to break inside of you. It's a fearful feeling, you know. Like I said, even though we knew the Lord was in control, it's still frightening to think, well, maybe, man, he might take her.
You learn to live day by day, because there's awful days and there's good days. And you just have to take it one day at a time, and just every day is a gift. It's a gift from God. And you have to treat it that way.
Laurel and her folks have been supported through their bad times by family and friends, and through some good times by new friends, like Mike Bradley and Holly Bondis, volunteers in the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
The families invite you in, and to share a wish. The wish is really secondary. It's the point of being with the child, and you learn about love, you learn about friendship, and you learn about God in its purest sense. It's unadulterated with what happens to people in life. And it's so pure and so beautiful. And when you get that and you get it from each child, they're the strength. We're just a means to try to do something to keep the family unit happy for a moment. But it's selfish, because we get it out of every wish, out of every family. That's why I'm here and why I plan on staying with it.
And the friendships you make, I mean, you may spend, 2 or 3 days with the family, but you're friends for life. That's how we always feel. You've almost brought more members into your family, and it's very humbling too. I think it makes you realize what life is all about, and what's important in life and what's not important.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation has thousands of volunteers and 70 chapters worldwide. But perhaps everything we need to know about this special, spiritual organization can be learned in the story of its beginning.
Make-A-Wish was started in Phoenix, Arizona in 1980 with a little boy who was 7 years old and suffered from leukemia. His wish was to be an Arizona State Trooper. An Arizona trooper named Tommy Austin heard about this little boy whose name was Chris Gracious and arranged for him to become a real state trooper. They got him a badge, a real badge. They got him a helicopter ride, a uniform made to order, complete with a Smokey Bear hat. They gave him a ticket book, which he used to give tickets to pedestrians walking up and down his street. And when they protested, he flashed his badge. Shortly after that day, Chris died. He was buried with the full honors of an Arizona State Trooper, and in fact his tombstone reads Christopher Gracious, the date he was born, the date he died, and the words Arizona State Trooper. After Chris's funeral, Tommy Austin and Chris's mom got together and were talking about what it had meant to Chris to have that wish fulfilled, and realized there must be many, many more children that were ill that had a wish that without help might never be fulfilled. And so the Make-A-Wish Foundation was formed.
But on this day, the story of Make-A-Wish is the story of Laurel and her wish.
Through all my life, I've been hearing about him on the news and stuff, and I've kind of grown up with him.
Meeting this special him is about a day of riding in limousines, lunching at a famous restaurant, and wondering all along what he's really like.
He cares about people. He cares about the United States. He's sensitive, and he really, really cares. He just seems like the kind of guy that would be someone's grandfather and they would like him very much. I wish I had him for grandpa.
Well, hello there. Well, thank you very much. Those are beautiful.
Thank you.
I understand that somebody has some questions they want to ask. You do? What are they?
Well, what was the hardest part about being a president?
I think that was in making some telephone calls when you had to report to families that some of their family in military uniform would not be coming home. I think any time that the president has to give orders to our people in uniform, put them in places where their lives may be in danger, that's hard.
Seems like it. What do you do in your spare time now when you're
What do I
like
do
not
in
busy?
my spare time? I have to confess that yes, I have one thing that is very dear to my heart. Up north of here, near Santa Barbara, we have a ranch. And we have horses. And I love riding and have been doing it for most of my life. And every time I get a free moment, as a matter of fact, this Friday, I will be going to the ranch. And if you look up there on the wall, that's a picture of our ranch, and that white horse is the one I ride.
How about you ask me some questions now?
Well, start with what grade are you in?
Third.
Third grade. Have you thought about what maybe you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I want to be a veterinarian.
A veterinarian. Well, by golly, maybe one day I can have you come to take care of my horse.
I'd like that.
Make a wish. Dreams do come true and lead to bigger wishes.